Shemai GTA chums, I'm in my biker clubhouse because the biker business, the weed business, is half price for this week only. And I mean, I've not bought it, I've got to be honest, because I've never thought it was really worth it for me. But it will, it can be useful and you can make money off it. Notice that I got the counterfeit cash, meth, coke. Those are the best businesses in the order from bottom to top, actually. But I'm going to buy the weed farm. I'm going to regret it probably. Location-wise is essential. You notice the cheaper ones are in more kind of rubbish locations. I really want to buy the Chiliad one because I do like Mount Chiliad. But Elsian Island, I am tempted by that. So if you view it on the map, it's down in the south. You've got the Los Santos Tunas up there. I'm always down there anyway. But what might be best, because it's the furthest south of the map, is probably not that one, but actually this one here. Now, it's quite a bit of a difference, 679 from 536, but this one, if you look at it on the map, is in the north end of the city, and what that means is that you will be able to do your delivery missions and heading northwards away from the city, as in away from griefers, if you're doing it in a full session, which I will be doing for the hell of it. So let's purchase this business, and we've done that. We're going to need to do the upgrades as well, so looking at those businesses we own, weed farm, total earnings are 0, so upgrades are what we'll do next, and setup as well. So here we are at our city lockup with the old weed business there. We need to go in and set it all up, and I'll hopefully fast forward the setup. Blah 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 blah. Bit of a nonsense setup screen. So there's no weed there, and blah blah blah. Maybe I'll speed this bit up. The other thing is I should talk about the actual weed business. The reason why I haven't bought it before is because I don't think the MC business is really that worthwhile. I think I prefer, well, I do prefer, I don't think, the bunker business for the sell missions are a lot easier. And, if I've got to be honest, if I want to actually make money, I wouldn't sell in an open session most of the time because I get griefed half the time. But I don't know, some people say you'll need to sell 2 out of 3 times to make it worthwhile in a massive lobby, but I don't know. Maybe that's good. Setup. We need to do setup first before we buy the upgrades. So let's do that, shall we? Maybe I'll fast forward the setup. We'll see what it involves. What's this idiot want?
As you can see, we're almost good to go. Just need this first batch of supplies and we'll kick into gear. Exciting times.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, collect the van, deliver it to the business 4 miles away. Well, we're not going to be driving this thing, are we? Let's just forget about that. The initial setup is pretty basic, and it just involves a lot of flying to the pick up the gear. And once you've done this, though, you can just purchase it and never do it ever again. So that is the good news, and I do recommend purchase. Here we are. So we are miles away, but we have got this van. There's the good news. Only 4.7 miles in a rubbish van. I had to speed this up 1000% because it took that long driving back to the city. It wasn't unenjoyable, it was quite meditative, and I think there's solo sessions, so there's nobody here to bother me. And yeah, once you've done it though, as I said, you don't have to do it again. That's the recommendation because it's dull as dishwater. So here we are reaching over the hills, and we're going to come back into town, and we're going to be happy, happy, happy. Well, here we are, chums. We've made it at last. For all our troubles, that wasn't so bad, was it? We've started the business, so next we're going to log on and see what we can do with this thing. Okay. Exactly.
Hey, supplies are in and production is a go.
Supplies, yeah. LGT, get used to those phone calls, everyone. Now we're going to log on once again, and we're going to see if we can upgrade this thing. Because in order to make the most money, you want to have your efficiency upgrades, as in everything, and resupply. We can resupply. Oh, only 9 grand. I'm going to buy that for a start anyway. Buy upgrades. So staff upgrade. Look at this. These are half price as well. Equipment upgrade, staff upgrade, and security. The most important are, well, staff upgrade and equipment, but you will want to buy security as well. I recommend that because it's what What are you doing, man? Okay, yeah. Because if you don't buy the security upgrades, it'll get raided even more, and it will get upgraded. That is the most annoying thing about these businesses. They get raided all the freaking time. So that is why we are going to upgrade it. So you notice the lighting change there because we got the upgrades. Security upgrade as well. We'll get a guy with a gun on the door. That should stop it from getting raided. Okay, so that is the business set up. Next, we want to wait until we get a full portion of stock, and then we'll make a sale, hopefully with one vehicle. And maybe we'll do it in a group session as well to see if it gets blowed up. Anyway, next day. One thing you might want to invest in is the Master Control Terminal in your arcade, if you have an arcade, because from here you can access every single business. Otherwise, you have to drive to every single one. So you can look at your nightclub, look at your gun runnings, resupply all that business, sell stock, look at that. And obviously there's your weed farm right there. We can see how much stock there is, but it doesn't have bars on it like you have when you walk in the building, so you can't see 100% guaranteed exactly how much is on there, but you get an idea for it, and you can buy new stock and get things started. Like this meth lab, for example, has no supply at all, so I could resupply it if I fancied it, although I kind of hate it. Maybe I'll do it. I'll show you the resupply there. So, I mean, don't always buy your supplies, don't source them, because resupplying, sourcing is a nightmare. There we go. That is that. Nightclub as well. Also, just bear in mind that that will duplicate your goods, so you want to make sure you do that. So you go to warehouse management and organic produce, I think it is, to accrue weed. So that technician there is getting the hold of the weed for us and duplicating it and making us some money. How much has he gathered? Not a lot at the moment, because look, everything else is full, so I need to do a sell on that. And that is the master control and the night spot. All right, chums, this is actually the third time lucky. Our product is ready to sell. It's not 1.5 bars is what you want for one vehicle, and it's taxed me about 7 grand. I've jumped between this is my third session. I'm trying to do this. It keeps giving me cash vehicles. So sell stock, and we're going to sell it in Belaine County. Look at that, 425 grand. You're still decent money, and it's probably going to give us something like a UPS wagon or something stupid like a bin wagon. Because that's what it's doing. Because it knows I've not done this in ages. I wish it was that. Why
All
can't
right,
it be that?
eavesdrop
That's the
remote.
third time I've made that joke. Whoa, what the hell? Planes! That's a bit weird, but yeah, why not? The planes, they're not as good as you think they are, but they're better than what we had. So we're going to do that. We're going to sell the Mofreakers. By the way, we've got about nearly 30 people in session. I think we had 29 last time I checked. Come on, chum, get out of my way. Yeah, got a decent car here, the Verliero. You'll be able to afford this. Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't tell you. It's taken just over an hour to get that much stock. So I was on about an hour and 20 as far as I was timing, and that's too much. You wanted probably more like an hour or an hour and 10. An hour wasn't quite right, I don't think. So that's probably what you want for your ideal stock levels. A lot of driving here. We've got to get to that beach before somebody blows up our stock. Normally you'd get a chum to help you, obviously, but I intended on doing this with one vehicle. And I will be speeding it up, don't you worry. Don't you worry indeed. In fact, this might even be speeded up because it's not that entertaining, is it? But we have 30 minutes to do 2 planes, and they each have 5 drops. So it's pretty easy, but it's pretty slow as well. Very easy to get griefed. But we should be flying north. Well, we will be flying north, so that is away from the griefing zone, isn't it? Hopefully. But who knows in GTA? People will do whatever they want. Glitches and all kind of business going on. Let's just take a shortcut. Hell of a shortcut. That is the way to do it. Lost my boot there, but who cares? We're going to be doing our deliveries now. Nice. In these lovely, lovely planes. Where's the plane, dude? Blue, where's my plane at? Okay. Okay, we are here. Magic. Only 2 minutes to get to our plane. But this is a hell of a lot better than what we had, what our alternate was. So, first off, check out the map. You don't want to be flying over people, so we go clockwise, northwards. And we try, keep your map expanded. Got somebody in baby mode approaching us, but they're not going to be a bother, unless they hang out and blow up the plane. They're like, oh, let's blow up his stuff. He's suspiciously hanging out. At the end of the day, if that guy blows it up, he's doing us a favour. And there we go, you see, coming down. stop the car there, the little. Right, so we've sped it up a little bit, obviously, because it's very slow, this plane, and it'll take you quite a while to get your deliveries away. It is a good one, though, because it takes you around the periphery of the map, so less likely to meet griefers et al. So I've only been griefed, I think, once in this particular plane, and well, actually twice, because the first time was my fault, 'cause I just didn't have a clue how to deliver, and I was an idiot. But the second time was the final delivery, so I got 9 out of 10 deliveries on that, and the guy was an idiot, so I blown him up eventually and got my own back on them. But for this, it's very easy. But the worst ones which I got were the two worst ones. I'll show you at the very end of the video as a bit of a finale, something to look forward to. You had the bin wagon, that's pretty terrible, but it is quicker than the UPS wagon, which is the worst in the world, because basically it does not go up hills. So you can take the motorway to go north. I've not done those deliveries, but it always takes you over hills to some extent. So I don't know if delivering to the north is better than delivering to the south, because all my other places are in the north. But anyway, they're both terrible. So I recommend you restart the session. You'll only lose about a few grand. That is it. You don't lose a lot compared to the pain and suffering you will get. The main problem is the restarting the sessions at the moment, because on PC it's a black screen of doom and takes quite a long time to load in. That is my main problem, not the problem with losing loot, as it were. And loot, it's quite cheap anyway. You pay 15 to 75 grand for for your topping up of your weed stuff. I suppose that's buying the high quality seeds, but 75 grand for a full bunker of loot, and we've only used probably, I don't know, a third of that. So maybe it's like 20 grand worth of product has given us this delivery. So it's turned out not to be too bad. So we're talking. Oh, there's a plane. You see that jet? I thought that was a jet griefer for a while there, but fortunately it wasn't. It was probably an NPC from Fort Zancudo. But you can see all you do is fly over your target and you press right arrow key or whatever it is on the controller as you get over the target. I always drop it a lot later because I want to land it right on target as if I'm a proper plane. I'm fully immersed. What an idiot. But just drop it as soon as it says so you don't get nuked by somebody. And we're getting towards the end here of our second delivery, so this will complete it. Very nice. Okay, here we go. Eyes down, look in. This is the final drop. We finally made it. Oh, who's that behind us? Oh no, it's just a dot. I think it's a bollard on the electric pylons. You always wonder if they're going to get the griefers get the greasy hands on you. And we've delivered successfully. So 637 rather than 420 grand. That's 1% extra for every player in the session. And there were, what was that, 16, 18, 20, 23 was that? Something like that. That's a decent payout. When it's double money, it's worth it, yeah. Happy days. Right, so that is it, yeah. How much did I spend on this then? Let's have a look at the spend in the was it worth it calculation. I spent 1.46 million on the equipment upgrades. That's every upgrade, and that's the most expensive weed place that's available on half price. But if you'd have bought the cheapest, which is also a decent location, it's up in the north, nearer the sandy shores where all my stuff is, it means you've got to do the deliveries in the city, which is more griefable, but that is 1.14 million. So if you're not certain whether this is a good business for you, it might be worth doing that. But I would probably buy a city one to be sure, just to make sure, to be sure. And the one I bought is probably the best one. But you'd need to do at double money 2 and a bit deliveries, and that's a single vehicle, because at single vehicle you won't be earning that much less than what I earned there, which was 670 grand with 22 people in the session. So it's more like 425 grand, wasn't it, with an empty session. So I mean, it's up to you if you want to take the risk or not. How lucky do you feel, punk? And I think that's it. I felt a bit more lucky running from the city rather than running towards the city to do my deliveries. Supplies normally will cost you 15 to 75 grand, so 75 grand for a full one, and it was, as you can tell, supplies, we only used about a third of supplies there, wasn't it? So that's like 20 grand's worth of supplies. So we made a decent profit on it, is what I'm trying to say, for an hour's work. But it's not the best business. The coke, the meth and meth are the best. Those are the ones you want to buy, or even the money duplication one, the forgery one, cash forgery, not the stupid one. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, those are the ones you want to buy, and those are the ones I would still recommend. I still wouldn't recommend you get it as your main kind of biker business, not for certain. But it might be worthwhile as it's discounted because you can upgrade it to the max, and you can have it running in the background, and you can double up with your nightclub as well, and that will earn you a nice little bit of profit on the side without having to do anything for the nightclub other than that single vehicle sale at the end of it. So yeah, is it worth it? It's complicated, and I think it might be, but personally, if I was talking to myself and saying, "Is it worth it?" I'd say, honest, no, it's not. I'd say wait until you get the coke, get a Cayo Perico heist going, get the submarine, because we're talking 1.5 million, 2.2 million the submarine. So just buy that. That'll make your money a lot quicker. It's a lot more enjoyable. But some people say Cayo Perico is difficult. It is difficult to get to up to grips with learning. So this might be an easier alternate if you can avoid the griefers. Do it in a solo session then. So that is it, yeah. So like, subscribe, and I'll show you how frustrating it can be now. And we have, bin trucks. This is the second worst delivery vehicle ever. I don't have the patience for this. So rather than deliver it, I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to find a new session. And maybe with a new session, it'll be just one truck. So we're going to go public session again, and hopefully we'll be luckier. Right, chum. Oh, no way. This is the freaking worst one ever. There's no way I'm doing a delivery in that. Even though it took me 5 minutes to reload into this session, there's no way I'm using a post-op van. That is the worst fucking one. Never.